Good day everyone! So in this video, we will discuss about the police system of United States of America. Ang United States of America ay tinatawag sa iba-iba. Pwede itong USA, United States, pwedeng US lang, at pwede ding America lang. America is a country comprising 50 states, a federal district, 5 major self-governing territories, and various possessions. At 3.8 million square miles, the United States is the world's third or fourth largest country by total area, with a population over 327 million people. So the US is the third most populous country. The United States is representative democracy. So, pag sinabing democracy, a system of government by the whole population or all the eligible members of a state, typically through elected representative. So, sabi pa dito, in the American federalist system, citizens are usually subject to the 3 levels of government: federal, states, and local. Next, ang overview of police system ng United States of America. At ang una nating tatalakayin ang mga police agency ng USA. So, ang una is the BJS or Bureau of Justice Statistics. And Bureau of Justice Statistics or BJS is the primary statistical agency of the Department of Justice. So, sila daw yung nangunguna. BJS collects, analyzes, publishes, and disseminates information on crime, criminal offenders, crime victims, and criminal justice operation. BJS also provides financial and technical support to state, local, and tribal governments to improve their statistical capabilities and quality and utility of their criminal history records. BJS also provides statistical information to the President, Congress, other officials, and the public with accurate, timely, and objective data about crime and the management of criminal justice. And next, the U.S. Marshals. So, ito yung logo ng Marshals. So, ito namang U.S. Marshals is the federal government's primary agency for fugitive investigation. Ano ba ang fugitive? So, kapag sinabi natin fugitive, ito yung mga person who has escaped from a place or is hiding, especially to avoid arrest or persecution. Ito yung mga nagtatago. Next, ang United States Park Police. Ang US Park Police officers provide a law enforcement within park under the jurisdiction of the U.S. Department of the Interior's National Park Service. At ang U.S. Park Police Force ay kinokonsist ng 3 division: ang Field Operation, Homeland Security, at ang Service. Ang Park Police ay pwede ding magtrabaho sa Mounted Unit, sa Patrol Units, at sa Traffic Unit. Next, ang Federal Air Marshal. Ang Federal Air Marshal Service detects, deters, and defeats hostile acts against aviation. Federal Air Marshals are armed federal law enforcement officers deployed on passenger flights worldwide to protect airline passengers and crew against the risk of criminal and terrorist violence. Federal Air Marshals perform investigative work and participate in multi-agency task force and land-based investigative assignments to proactively fight terrorism. The Federal Air Marshal Service promotes public confidence in the safety of the nation's aviation system. So, sila yung mga kapulisan sa airport. Sila yung mga nagbabantay doon against sa mga balak manggulo or against sa mga terrorists, ganon. The Federal Protective Service or FPS. FPS is the premier provider of security and law enforcement service at U.S. federal government facilities. FPS plays a leading role in the protection of our nation's critical infrastructure with the lead in responsibility for ensuring a safe and secure working environment for federal workers and visitors in approximately 9,000 federal facilities nationwide. FPS is a leader in a physical security and law enforcement operation, and it embraces a forward-leaning strategic approach to security centered on advanced planning and preparedness. The United States Capitol Police, or USCP. USCP is the primary responsibility for protecting life and property, preventing and detecting and investigating criminal acts, and enforcing traffic regulation throughout a large complex of congressional buildings, parks, and thoroughfares. U.S. Postal Inspection Service. The U.S. Postal Inspection Service supports and protects the U.S. Postal Service and its customers by enforcing the laws that defend the nation mail system from illegal or dangerous use. The Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, or FLETC. Ang FLETC ay na-establish noong 1970 as a Bureau of Department of the Treasury at kilala noon bilang Consolidated Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, or SFLETC. At noong 1975, nirename nila ito at naging FLETC, or the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center. At ang mission nila is to train those who protect our homeland. The FLETC serves as an interagency law enforcement training organization for approximately 90 federal agencies. The FLETC also provides service to state, local, tribal, and international law enforcement agencies. The United States Mint Police. Mint Police are charged with securing and protecting our nation's precious metals, monetary, and other physical assets, and protecting the employees of the U.S. Mint. So, dito na tayo sa Criminal Investigation Division or Detective Bureau. Ang Criminal Investigation Division ay kinokonsist ng 2 units, the Property Crimes and the Persons Crimes Units. So, sabi dito sa Property Crimes Unit, investigates property and miscellaneous crimes to include burglary, theft, auto theft, vandalism, harassing calls, arson, and fraud. This unit works in conjunction with the Road Patrol Division and Prime Unit to investigate and arrest offenders. Sa Persons Crimes Unit naman, kinokonsist ito ng homicide, robbery, juvenile and sex crime, and domestic violence section. The Juvenile and Sex Crime section investigates crime involving child and elderly abuse or neglect, sex-related offenses, and all missing persons cases. Next, ang Pentagon Force Protection Agency. So, ang PFPA ay isang federal law enforcement agencies within the U.S. Department of Defense. Ginagawa naman nila is to protect and safeguarding the occupants, visitors, and infrastructure of the Pentagon, the Mark Center Building, the Defense Health Agency Headquarters, and the U.S. Court of Appeals. The Supreme Court Police. The Supreme Court Police serve as a uniformed police officer with the Supreme Court of the United States. Supreme Court police officers are primarily responsible for protecting the Chief Justice, Associate Justices, building occupants, and the court's building and grounds. U.S. Customs and Border Protection, isa ding police agency ng Amerika. And Federal Bureau of Investigation or FBI, the United States Department of Veterans Affairs Police, the U.S. Coast Guard Investigative Service, the Department of Defense Police or the DoD, the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago's Law Enforcement Unit, the Bureau of Indian Affairs Police, yan, tatlong logo nila, the Library of Congress Police, at ang mission nila, dyan naman, pakibasa na lang. So, tapos na natin ang mga police agency ng Amerika. Ngayon, punta naman tayo sa mga department ng United States. So, unahin natin ang Department of Agriculture. Dito sa Department of Agriculture, dito yung mga produkto na kung saan pinagkukunan ng makakain ng bansang US. Halimbawa, tulad na lang sa atin dito sa Pilipinas, sila yung nagsusupply para sa mga pansakahan na siyang dahilan ng pagpapataas ng kanilang ekonomiya. Ito namang Department of Commerce, ito yung nagpapanatili ng seguridad sa mga lugar upang mabawasan ang pagdami ng krimen. Halimbawa, sa isang lugar laganap doon ang krimen o kaguluhan, itong Department of Commerce, magde-deploy sila ng mga officers para magbantay. Dito naman sa Department of Defense, ito naman yung mga naka-assign para makipagdigma tulad ng US Navy, US Military, US Coast Guard upang mapanatili ang kaligtasan ng bansa. Halimbawa tulad ng AFP, sila yung mga officers na handang ibuwis yung buhay para sa bansa. Sa Department of Education naman, sila naman yung mga nagpro-provide sa pag-aaral ng mga estudyante. Binibigyan nila yung mga sapat na pangangailangan ng kanilang gobyerno. Sa Department of Energy naman, sila yung responsible sa energy regarding sa paghawak ng nuclear materials. Diba, alam naman natin na kilala ang US sa maraming weapons na ginagamit sa pagkikipaglaban na kinakailangan gumamit ng energy.
Meron din United States Department of Health and Human Service, United States Department of Homeland Security, United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, United States Department of the Interior or DOI, United States Department of Justice, United States Department of Labor, United States Department of Estates, United States Department of Transportation, United States Department of the Treasury, and United States Department of Veterans Affairs.
So, punta na tayo sa rank ng USA. Ang USA may dalawang rank, ang highest rank at sa lowest rank. Sa highest rank, tinatawag silang Chief of Police, Commissioner of Police, Superintendent and Sheriff. Sa lowest rank naman, tinatawag silang Officer, Deputy, Trooper, at Corporal. At ang motto ng police agency ng USA ay to protect and to serve. Types of law enforcement decentralized. Ano ba ang decentralized? In a decentralized police system, responsibility for law enforcement is shared by various levels of government with specific assignments of duties and defined coordination. The estimated strength of police system of USA as of 2020, 1.2 million. So, pag-usapan naman natin ang history of police system ng USA. So, noong 1844, na-establish ang first police department ng United States at na-establish ito sa New York City. It was officially organized in 1845. Pagkatapos nun, madami ng cities ang sumunod tulad ng those early departments all used the London Metropolitan Police as a model. Like the Metropolitan Police, American police were organized in a quasi-military command structure. Their main task was the prevention of crime and disorder, and they provided a wide array of other public service, and there were no detectives. In part because of an ideological commitment to local control over most institutions, police power in the USA became the province of state and local governments, and each city established its own police department. The authority for policing was decentralized to the level of political wards and neighborhoods, which developed relatively autonomous police units. The police established intimate relation with neighborhoods and neighborhood leaders and initially did not even wear uniform. Middle and upper class reforms believed that one of the primary tasks of the police was to reestablish political and social control over a population racked by ethnic and economic rivalries. The tension between being closely linked to communities and being an instrument for reforming them initiatively resulted in a struggle for political control of the police, a struggle that was one of the dominant themes in the history of police in the United States. Short history of their policing system. Early colonial policing. So, early colonial, this relied too heavily on citizen and conscription system known as the Pos Comitatus. This is similar to militia system. Policing in what would become the United States of America arose from the law enforcement systems in European countries, particularly the ancient English common law system. Modern policing began to emerge in the US in the mid-19th century, influenced by the British model of policing established in 1829. So, modern policing, ito yung first organized publicly professional full-time police service were established in Boston in 1838. In the late 19th and early 20th century naman, there were few specialized units in police departments. Tapos, noong 1905, the Pennsylvania State Police became the first state police agency established in the United States. It's recommended by President Theodore Roosevelt, Anthracite Strike Commission, and Governor Samuel Pennypacker. So, dito na tayo sa organizational structure. So, sabi dito, there is no national police force in the US kasi policing is organized on a state and local basis. Dito na tayo sa recruitment. So, sa US, kung gusto mong makapabilang sa mga police forces nila, kailangan mo dapat ay una yung US citizenship. Kailangan mo ng pruweba na taga-US ka talaga. At may age requirements din at education. Parang sa atin, kailangan na makapagtapos ng 4 years course bago ka maging police. May motor vehicle license, selective service, background investigation, and additional requirements may apply. So, dito sa recruitment, kailangan na patotoo na taga dun ka at malinis ang record mo, 'di ba? Para ko naman nila kukunin kung hindi na malising record mo. Parang sa atin din. So, punta na tayo sa firearms, weapons, at equipment ng United States of America. Ito is yung mga example lang. Hindi namin nilagay lahat. Yan. So, next, ang police uniforms ng United States of America. At nagdagdag kami ng video sa revolution ng uniforms nila. So next, let's proceed sa rank and insignia. So unahin natin sa pinakamataas na rank, yun yung Chief of Police na kung saan may 4 silver star. Next, ang Deputy Chief of Police na kung saan may 2 silver stars sa uniform insignia nila. At sa USA, may 4 Deputy Chief of Police sila. They serve as bureau commanders over the patrol, investigative, management, and support bureaus, and each bureau varies in number of officer and function. Next, Division Commanding Officer. Division Commanding Officer shall hold the rank of Captain, which denoted by the twin silver bar. Each bureau is organized into various divisions. Next, ang Division Executive Officer na may single silver bar. So, itong insignia na ito is nagde-denote sa lieutenant's rank. First line, supervisors. So, ito shall hold the rank of sergeant. So, itong 3-stripe chevron uniform insignia nagde-denote sa sergeant rank. Corporal na may 2-stripe nagde-denote nito sa supervisor. Police Officer 3. Police Officer 3 rank is a chevron consisting of 1 stripe up with 2 stripe rocker. Police Officer 2 rank is a chevron consisting 1 stripe up with a star below. The ranks of Police Officer 3 and Police Officer 2 can serve as Patrol Officer, Traffic Safety Officer, Vice Narcotics Officer, Detective, and etc. Police Officer 1. Police Officer 1 has no rank and insignia. So, dito yung mga junior members na kung saan eligible for promotion to Police Officer 2. Police Training Officers or PTOS are hand-selected and receive a specialized certification to mentor and develop new officer immediately after they graduate from the Police Academy. PTOS may hold the rank of Police Officer 3 or Police Officer 2. Police Officer 3 is recognized as a Master Police Officer. PTO rank insignia can be identified by the star and the chevron. Police Officer 3 rank is a chevron consisting of 1 stripe up with 2 stripe, rocker, and star in the middle. Ito naman yung Police Officer 2 rank na may chevron consisting of 1 stripe up with a star below. Non-sworn employees differ from sworn officers in that non-sworn employees do not have powers of arrest. Non-sworn employees provide many critical support services such as crime scene investigation, processing, and communication. Only some non-sworn employees wear uniforms. Uniformed non-sworn personnel shall wear the following rank. Director, Warrant Officer 5 bar, a silver bar with a centered continuous black stripe. Next, Supervisor, may Warrant Officer 2 bar, a silver bar with 2 centered black squares. Assistant Director, na may Warrant Officer 4 bar, a silver bar with 4 centered black squares. At last, Administrator or Coordinator, na may Warrant Officer 3 bar, a silver bar with 3 centered black square. So, ito naman yung insignia of United States Armed Force Officer, yung Army, Marines, Navy, Air Force, and Coast Guard. Yan yung mga insignia nila at rank.
So let's move on to the other details. So there are more than 17 states and local law enforcement agencies in United States ranging in size from 1 officer to more than 30,000. So ang United States ay may 17,000 na local law enforcement agencies. Only around 1/3 of a police officer's time is spent actually enforcing criminal law. Most of the work of a police officers involve peacekeeping, order maintenance, and problem solving. So 1/3 lang daw ng kapulisan ay ng time ng kapulisan ang nai-spend or nagugugol sa pag-solve ng mga problem or ng crimes. 12% of the law enforcement officers in the United States are women. So, kung sa atin sa Philippines, may 10% lang ang mga kababaihan na police officers. Sa US naman ay may 12% na women police. Next, American Law Enforcement Agency only solve around 20% of all reported crimes. So, sa Amerika daw, sa lahat ng mga na-report na crimes, 21% lang daw ang na-solve nila na crime. There are 17,985 U.S. police agencies in the United States, which include City Police Department, County Sheriff Office, State Police Highway Patrol, and federal law enforcement agencies. The United States has roughly 18,000 separate law enforcement agencies, all of which operate largely independent of each other. So, ang United States daw ay may 18,000 na separate law enforcement agencies. Police officers in England are sometimes called bobbies, in which honor of Sir Robert Peel, the founder of their modern police system. So, sa pag-honor daw kay Sir Robert Peel, ang tawag sa mga police officers sa England ay bobbies. There are currently 900,000 law enforcement officers serving in the United States. This is the largest number of officers ever employed at one time. So, ang largest number daw na employed sa US ay 900,000 law enforcement officers. The first known female police officer in the United States was Maria Owens, who was appointed to serve in Chicago in 1890. So, ang first female police officers is si Maria Owens. The age of officers at retirement range from 45 to 73, with the average being 55 years old. They had served on the force for an average of 26.4 years. So that is the police system of United States of America, and thank you for listening.